Paranormal Evidence.
Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Inside. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices
Paranormal Evidence.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. My name is Chris.
I'm Tony.
I'm Cherie.
I'm Lourdes.
I'm Ron Allgood. Because somebody has to be all good and you didn't say it. So this week it's me.
Sorry. Today
We're missing one. Where's Audra?
Audra is not feeling well. She will be back next week. Unfortunately, she's across the hall in bed. She's not doing well today. She stayed home from work, and unfortunately, she's not feeling good. But she'll be back. She was kind of disappointed, but she hasn't been out of bed.
Soon.
Yeah, she'll be fine. It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor. All right.
Well said.
Say that again.
He said, well said.
Well said.
Well said. Not a tumor. All right, guys. So I hope everybody had a great Father's Day for those of you out there that are fathers.
Right.
And some of you fathers that are mothers. Happy Father's Day, belated. Hope you guys had a good day. Hope you got spoiled. Tonight, we got a really awesome show. We've got Pamela and Steve Barry, owners of the Gettysburg Ghost Exchange in the 1912 Hoover House. Pamela began dictated paranormal investigation in her 30s. Sorry, guys, I'm reading. I'm half blind. When she moved to the Gettysburg area. Since then, she has been conducting studies of the battlefield. She then compares the paranormal activity she captures on the battlefield to the actual battle occurrences that took place. She is also a certified Reiki Master, a trained spiritualist, healer, and educated in Lily Dale. She is an investigator with the Paranormal After-Party TV Show and has appeared on, if you're in the Pennsylvania area, Fox 56, Fox 43, the CW, Mynet, and also featured in the Gettysburg Life magazine, Celebrate Gettysburg Magazine, and Paranormal Underground Magazine, Volume 10, Issue 5.
And make the best damn waffles in the country.
Delicious.
So Steve had a near-death experience in 2015. Welcome to the club, Steve. Crossed through the veil and came back. Since then, his communication with spirits has increased significantly. He uses an array of paranormal equipment in his search for answers. You may also have seen him in the Pennsylvania area on Fox 56, Fox 43, and the CW. So tonight we've got some really good evidence from those guys. Some of that stuff was when Ron and Lourdes were down visiting those guys. For those of you that don't know, the 1912 Hoover House is also a B&B where you can do paranormal investigating. So. And
we were just there.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was saying we were just there a couple of weeks ago with them. We've participated in, and we will again this year and the following year, the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. They are two of the best expo promoters. They bring the best people together. It's an amazing event. And from a personal side, we love them. We spend time with them when we can. We realized when we were there recently that we need to go more. Just really, really good people. This is an example not just in how to do or be a paranormalist, but how to be an amazing human being. These are good people.
Awesome.
Yep.
Fantastic. And this is what Entity Voice is all about. It's not just about bringing on names that you know. It's also about bringing on people that you don't know that are deeply involved in the paranormal community, introducing you to them and some of the evidence they've captured. So let's go ahead and bring them in. Here is Pam. It looks like Steve's still running a little late, but here comes Pam. Hi, Pam.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you for being on.
Absolutely. Steve will be here in a few minutes.
All right. So let's start, Pam, by, since he's not here, you get to go first.
Okay.
Why don't you tell everybody watching what got you hooked on the paranormal?
Well, I've been involved with spirits since a child. My grandmother and I would decide if we were going to play with the Ouija board or have a seance on the weekends. So I just really thought that everyone was raised speaking with spirits. I didn't know any better. I've been involved my entire life.
Awesome. Did anything happen to you that got you deep into it, or just because?
Yeah. The first thing that I ever saw was on the Constellation in Baltimore, at the Inner Harbor. I saw a man, and he told me that I could get into his bed, and I can still remember his attire. I remember everything about him. Long story short, I got in trouble, and my mother yelled at me, which was very seldom. And then a short time after that, then there was a person in bedclothes at the bottom of my grandmother's bed.
Wow.
So I've been kind of, visually, that's far and few in between for me. I work on vibrations and energy. But, time to time, I do connect visually with spirit. I am not a psychic by any word of the, I'm not psychic. I'm a healer.
Completely understand.
Yeah. Here comes Steve-O.
Here comes Steve.
Yay.
Yeah.
There he is.
There he is. Welcome,
How you
Steve.
doing?
Hi.
Welcome, Steve. So, Steve, I asked Pam, let's get your scoop on it. What got you involved in the paranormal? What hooked you?
My mother did back way back. She used to work for the Audubon Society, and there was a ghost called the High Point Ghost in New Jersey, up in High Point, and actually someone came in with a picture of that ghost, and we just started doing investigations, her and I.
Yep.
She used to do grave rubbings, stone rubbings, where they put the paper, and we were in a cemetery way back in the woods. It was abandoned, and the contest she was in was whoever got the oldest date would win $100. So she's like, this has got to be the oldest cemetery. Went back there. She did a grave rubbing of the oldest date, and while we were in there, she heard "Get out." And she goes, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "Yeah, I heard that." And we're in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
So yeah, that's how we got started.
That's fantastic.
That's
Well,
awesome.
actually, a good question for both of you, because we talk about this on the show sometimes. Everybody has, with stuff that's supposed to be spooky, that fight or flight possible response. And people who do what we all do didn't fight. We fought through it. We fought ahead. We moved into it and let curiosity take us. Why do you think that was what you did?
I've never been frightened of anything, especially now. Since about 2015, nothing bothers me no more. Because that's when I passed. I passed away in 2015, so one of the lucky ones. I'm back. I had to pay the good years to send me back. Cost me a lot of money, but.
So I know we're probably going to have a lot of questions. What did you see, Steve, when you crossed the veil?
Oh,
He has an
you got
amazing
about
story.
3 hours.
He has an amazing story.
Can you condense it to about 2 minutes?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. When you pass away, your heart stops. The best way to describe it is: you ever sit down in a chair and you get up too fast and you feel like you're going to pass out?
Yeah.
You ever had that happen? Well, you pass out. Put it that way. You feel that rush come up the back of your neck, and it comes right up to your forehead, and there's no stopping it. So I was laying down, and that happened. Passed out. So to make a short story, and 2 minutes long, I passed away in the ambulance when they got it. For one, it happened on April 1st of 2000. Everyone thought it was April Fool's joke at first. I was in an ambulance. They came to the house. There was a blizzard that day. About 7 inches of snow was already on the road. Whiteout conditions. My daughter called the ambulance because I was turning blue. And her phone dies because we were like in a holler. So we were like in this man between mountains. So the only thing she got in when 911 answered was 911. She goes, "My dad's having a heart attack." And they go, "Where are you located?" And she just lost the signal. So she's panicking now, and she's trying to call the ambulance, and she couldn't get through. So my now son-in-law, who was there at the house at the time, he says, I'm going to drive you. Now, I recommend anyone that's having a heart attack, that's the first thing you don't do. You never drive someone to the hospital that's having a heart attack, because you can't save them. You're better off waiting until the ambulance gets there. If you take them in the car and you pass that ambulance, they can't help you. You don't have the equipment to shock someone back. So we waited, and actually it passed. The heart attack passed. Felt burning in my chest, and it was. I wouldn't want to go through it again. And my daughter said to me, "Your color's coming back." So I just stayed put, and I didn't move. Then the ambulance came. They said, "Can you get up?" And as soon as I stood up, they said, "Sit back down, sit back down." Because they saw on the monitor that I was about to have another heart attack. Well, they got me the ambulance, drove down the end of my driveway, and I went in full cardiac arrest. And that's when they started shocking me. So they shocked me the first time. The first time when I passed away, you ever look at a photograph book? People have them, and they have all the pictures in them, and you flip through the pages. Well, that's what you see. You see, as far back as you can remember as a child, and I saw dogs I had, people I was with, and places I've been to, and it started going faster and faster and faster and faster. And then I woke up in the ambulance, and I was flipping like a fish, and they go, "Whoa, whoa, 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 we just brought you back," because they had shocked me. So that's why I think it was going faster, because they kept shocking me until I came to. So I said to them, you know, "What did you do?" And they go, "What do you mean, what you do?" I said, "You took me out of my dream." So I thought it was a dream. But then I realized, looking out the back of the ambulance, that I'm on a highway, Route 84, heading to Scranton. So we had a 55-minute ride, and they couldn't fly me because of the blizzard. So it was either flight or die. So they were flying up the highway, and they're doing 80 miles an hour. And I told them, I heard the one guy, paramedic, say, "Go faster." And he goes, "We're not going any faster. We're doing 80 miles an hour. If we wreck, we all die." So next thing you know, I saw 2 EMTs, another ambulance come out behind us. And then one of those Blazers, looks like a Suburban, coming up behind us. And then I passed away again. And that's when they shocked me a second time. The second time I really didn't go anywhere. It was the third time they shocked me in the ambulance. And we were up near Scranton. I went to like a gray area. Everything was gray for a few seconds. And then I came to. And I remember getting into the ER, and the doctor, he goes, "Doctor, I'm Dr. Greenspan." And I said, I said, "Whatever you do, don't let me die." He goes, "You're not going to die in my watch." And next thing you know, I died right in front of him. So that's when the fun started. I started getting shocked every 10 seconds. I was dying every 10 seconds. So he ended up shocking me 53 times.
Wow.
To keep me alive till I got to the cath room. When I got to the cath room, I wasn't there, because that's when the fun started. That's when I was upstairs, up in heaven, I believe. I was in the judgment area. I call it judgment. Everything's gray. There's no trees. There's nothing. You look down, every which way you look is gray. It's like a light gray. And I saw these little watery figures running past me, and I tried talking to them. And the funny thing was, I remember them one time in the ER cutting my shirt off, because they shocked me back. And I remember my shirt getting cut off. And when I was up there, the shirt was back on me. So everything I was wearing that day was back on me.
Wow.
The weird thing was the watch. My watch band was on me. The watch itself was there, but there was no time. There was no arms showing you time. No numbers. You saw skin. So you only saw skin. So there's no face to the watch. So there's no time up there. This never existed. This whole life never existed. You don't have no memory of it. You know who you are, but yeah.
Well, they froze.
There's somebody. What is that? Can you guys hear that?
Can you hear that?
No.
Wait.
No.
There's.
I got somebody crying in the house.
Is that someone crying, or is that a fan or something?
I don't know. I'll be right back.
Go walk around. 'Cause
Oh my
it
God.
sounds like something. Oh, I know what it is. No, come back. It's rotisserie.
Oh my God.
Dang, I was gonna say, only on the Entity Voices you get live crap.
I'm so sorry.
What is it?
Rotisserie.
Oh.
Let it, forget it. So as it spins, there's one that if the meat's real tight on it, it makes the thing.
I actually thought it was my dog.
So anyway, little watery figures run past me. I'm trying to touch them. You can't touch nothing up there. They pull away from you so fast. If you saw the movie The Abyss,
Yeah.
you'd see these little watery figures in the abyss. But that's what they look like. They look just like watery figures.
Wow.
So you try to touch them and you just go. When you walk, you ever skim a stone?
Yeah.
It makes those rings. But when you start walking, these rings just keep going out, further. As soon as you stop, it goes boom, that fast, back to your foot. So it's almost like you're walking on water, but you don't splash or nothing. So I tried talking to these kids, and I said, talk to me. And with a voice of a man and a woman talking at the same time, they said, we're not allowed to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, so what do I do now? So remember, you have no sense of direction. Everything's gray. So I turned, put my back to them and started walking the other direction. And that's where I came up to a whole bunch of angel wings. They're all wings, no body, just wings, sets of wings everywhere, floating around.
We looked it up. It's a seraphim.
So all different sizes. So I went to touch one of the wings, and it just it was like pulls away from me, like no. But the warmth of love that you feel up there is. Everyone says describe it. You can't describe it, but I'll tell you what. When you pass away, you'll know it, because we're all going to go. You're not going to live here forever. So it's a feeling of warmth, love. Like I said, this life never existed. My daughters, Pam, my dogs, nothing. It's totally out of your brain, and you don't even remember it. And all of a sudden, this figure came at me. It was like something like this. It was black. And it came at me, and it opened up, and everyone could see this big, bright light. It wasn't a big, bright light. It was a dull, calming light.
Heat and brimstone.
Heat and love,
Okay.
and that's the best way to say it. And my computer screen is brighter than the light that came at me. And he used a figure standing in the middle of it. It was a tall figure. It looked like a man. I couldn't tell because I was pretty far away. But I can hear his voice. And he said to me, he says, I come to you because you believe in me. You're a part of me, my kingdom. Let them know I'm with each and every one of you. My love never dies, now go. That's what he said to me. So, and that's been locked in my head from day one. I can't, I wanted to write it down. I didn't have to write it down because it's just implanted in my head. I can't get rid of it.
Right.
So I turned my back towards the figure and I took one step. And next thing I know, I'm in a cath lab. And I'm looking up and I see a pink mask and a blue mask looking down at me. But I can't hear what they're saying to me. So next thing I know, I'm back up in the gray area. And I'm like, what am I doing back up here? And I hear, I told you to go. So I'm like, well, I didn't ask to come back here, I'm back in my body. Now I can hear them. And they're going, Steve, give us a sign. Please give us a sign. So I raised my hands up and I gave them 2 thumbs up. And they were clapping and everything else. Next thing I know, I wake up in ICU and everyone from our TV show was in there. Flip, Anthony, Ava, my brother, my daughters were in there. I don't know how they got in ICU, why they let them in, but they were there and they were filming. And I woke up to Flip holding my hand and I jerked my hand off. What do you do, dude?
You were
yeah, how do you say that word?
intubated.
Yeah, I had 3 tubes down me. I couldn't talk. Machines breathing for me. But Flip was holding my hand when I woke up. So he said, Flip's words to me were, you made it. You made it. So went through that. Next thing you know, I thought I was in there for what? A day. in ICU, but Pam said they put me in sort of like a coma, and I was out for 5 days. I wake up in my room, in a regular room, not in ICU no more, and I'm watching all these people, and Anthony's with me, who was on our show, and I'm watching all these people looking in the room at us constantly. I'm like, he goes, what the hell's going on? I said, I don't know. Now I can talk because the breathing tube's out and everything else. And all of a sudden, a doctor comes in. He goes, I'm Dr. Lowen, and this is my assistant. And he says, we both raced. We went to both your groins up. You had the Widowmaker times 3. He goes, I said, 3? He goes, yeah. He says, you're clogged 100% in your artery. Well, and then you had 2 blood clots sitting on top of that. So that's no one's ever survived it. You're a miracle. He goes, we've never seen this before. No one survived. Usually you see an athlete running and they drop dead. That's the Widowmaker. It takes you out. But I had it times 3. So I had a full clogged right artery, 100%, with 2 blood clots sitting on top of that.
Wow.
So very, very, no one survived it. I'm the only one that's on record that survived it. So he goes, we broke through, we went up and raced to both your groins, got up into there, and I found the clog, broke through it, and your heart took off like a freight train. I said, oh, wow. I said, that's good. That's good to hear. He goes, here's the weird thing. I go, what? He goes, out of all the shocking we did to you, the only thing we sort of knocked off was your liver and your kidneys. That's why you're in the hospital, because we got to wait for those numbers to come up. But you only got 2% of heart damage.
Wow.
That's 52% heart damage. You only have 2% heart damage. He goes, another thing. I go, what? He goes, what did you see? I said, what do you mean, what did I see? He goes, when I was working on your heart, you were talking to me constantly. He goes, so what did you see? I said, well, I saw a lot of stuff. And he goes, well, you know what? When you come to my office, I want to hear it in a month from now. So a month later, I go to his office and I walk in and I say, Doc, what did you see? What you want to know what I saw? I said, can you tell me what I said to you? Because I want to write a book. And he shut right up. He didn't want to be in a book. So I don't know what was said, what I said to him. But I took him out and I said, hey, Doc. He goes, what? I said, who's the female cardiologist that was working on me? He goes, what are you talking about? He goes, how do you know there's a female cardiologist there? I said, because I saw a pink mask to my right in the cath lab and a blue mask to my left. And he goes, you couldn't have saw that. He goes, you're really freaking me out right now. I said, well, was there a cardiologist that was a female there? He goes, yes. He goes, but you couldn't have saw it. I said, why? He goes, because your eyes were taped. We put cotton balls over your eyes and we covered it with tape. So if you wake up during heart surgery, you don't freak out. So he goes,
wow.
I saw you all clap. And I said, I gave you 2 thumbs up and you all started clapping. He goes, you know why we clapped? I said, why? He goes, you're without oxygen for 8 minutes. We thought you had brain damage.
Wow.
He goes, that's a miracle. That's another miracle. He goes, you should have brain damage. You don't have any.
Yeah, after 2 minutes, you're supposed to have.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
Wow.
you are a miracle, bro.
That is a miracle.
Everyone asks me, usually, are you scared to die? No, because I've been there. I don't look forward to it because I love being around my grandkids right now. But, one day I will go and I won't be scared. I told her if someone told me I had something wrong with me and I'm not going to make it, I'm just going to say, okay, hey, I'll talk to you from the other side. But I'm not scared to go.
Wow.
That's fascinating. First of all, thank you for sharing that with everybody.
Yeah.
It's personal and profound. Second of all, what a cool gift for us to even get to hear that. Because how many times have we at different points in the show said, well, we theorize this, we believe that, but, we don't really know until we get there. And then there are those who have had that experience who thank goodness he was willing to share it with us. And that's a whole other perspective to have. And Steve, it has to rattle your cage when people say there's nothing to this stuff. There's no,
I've been there, so they'll find out in the long run. Eventually they're going to find out. So they're going to You know, hopefully I don't find out. I don't wish anyone to have a heart attack. I don't wish anyone ill. I don't wish anyone, but eventually, you know, things happen in life. It's going to happen. You're going to pass. We're all going to pass. We're not going to be here forever. And you're going to find that out, you know, in your way. And you're going to say, wow, you know. But then again, you might not. You might not say, wow. And the reason why I say that is because I didn't remember anything that ever happened here. I think when you go to the other side, you start a whole new
journey. Yeah.
You know, it's a whole new path. So you know who you are. So the good thing about it is your identity stays with you. I know that. I don't know if your name, but you know who you are. Your energy. You do have a soul. Everyone has a soul. You know, that's one thing I learned. Don't play with your soul, because I know that's what was up there. As you know, my body was left behind, so it had to be my soul. So you're all energy, and you can't kill energy. You can't. You just move on. You move on to your next life, wherever your next journey is. What happened. I guess I wasn't ready, and they had more plans for me here, and I was sent back because I got that message. And I've said that I've been talked to by a lot of pastors and priests and stuff like that. And they come to the church and please say it for us. I want the people to believe more, you know. And I didn't make that up. Who could make something up like that? When I actually woke up in ICU, I asked for a pen because I thought I was going to forget what was said to me. And the nurse told my daughter, he can't have a pen. He can't write. And she goes, if my dad's asking for a pen, he can write. And I wrote on the paper angels to her, and she has that, should have that paper to this day. Hopefully she still has it. But that's what I handed to her.
Yeah.
And she goes, I couldn't wait. You know, here it is. Yeah.
Wow.
Fantastic story.
But I think they gave me all that power when, you know, waking up in ICU, tubes down, you can't talk, but they gave me the ability to still write. I mean, usually, and I was drugged to the gills, they said. So, I mean, Pam came in. This is the funny thing. She comes in. Pam has a problem with playing with buttons. All right? So
That's not good to do with a heart patient.
Pam, a miracle. In a blizzard, Pam found out. I called and we told her that I thought I was having a heart attack. And she told my daughter to call 911 now, right now. Pam was in Gettysburg. She drove up in a blizzard on highways where trucks were pulling off in a PT Cruiser and made it 3.5 hours. Didn't know if I was going to be alive when she got there. And when she got there, I had just woken up in ICU and everyone was in there. And she come walking in the door not knowing if I was going to be alive because she couldn't get hold.
Wow.
So, yeah, so she comes in and she leans on something or plays with one of the buttons. And these bells and whistles, never forget it, start going off. I'm like panicking because I got tubes in me. And I hear all these things going. And Flip goes over and gets up and he hits something and it went right back off. So I don't know what she hit. But
what's this do?
Yeah.
I know.
But remember the lady coming in. They said, you all have to leave, and except for you. And Pam says, well, I'm not leaving. And they said, you have to leave. She goes, no. And she goes, well, if you can stay awake, then you can stay. And Pam says, oh, I can stay awake. She goes,
she wasn't very nice.
I hunt spirits.
No, you fall asleep, you're out. I said, you got it. You got it. It's a one. I was awake for over 2 days, like 2.5 days.
Yeah. And they gave her a chair. Eventually they let her sleep, but it was pretty funny.
Wow.
And she's like, oh, you're on. It's like.
That's a great story, though.
Yeah, it's a fantastic story. Audra and I are going to have to take a trip up to see you guys and have a little discussion about my heart attack.
Absolutely.
Not as severe as yours, and I didn't cross the veil, but man, I sure felt like I was getting pulled towards it. So
in 2021, New Year's Eve, I almost had the same thing happen again. What they did was they took me off the blood thinners too soon, and now they decided to keep me on them for good. I was on Brilinta, and they took it off. And that stopped when they did such an emergency surgery on me, they put an unmedicated stent in me. So that could clog at any time if you don't take an anticoagulant, which is like Brilinta. So that happened 5 years later after, eating and stuff like that. It clogged. And then what happened was it was New Year's Eve the 31st, I had gone to the hospital 3 times already. The 24th, Christmas Eve, the 27th, and the 29th. And every time I went to the hospital, I said, I can feel my heart stopping and then building up and then kicking on again. And they said, oh, we took x-rays, go home, you're fine. Okay. On the 29th, I refused. Well, no, it was the 31st. I said, get me to the hospital, something's wrong. I went there and I refused to leave. And the ER doctor looked at my file and goes, everything you went through, I trust you. And I had to wait. And they put me on these thinners. And they held me there till I think it was January 3rd. He said, no, that's when the cardiologists come back to work. And they had emergency surgery on me. And sure enough, I was fully clogged in that stent again. So I had the Widowmaker again, survived again. But they caught it just another 48 hours, you wouldn't be here. That's how clogged it was. So they busted through that one and then put a medicated stent in. And now I'm here and I'm on all these blood thinners now. And
Wow.
Ron saw the sack of pills I have to carry with me. But you know what? It's worth it. I'm alive. And I got to carry these, take all these pills. But hey, hopefully I'll be here another 20-some years.
7 in the morning and 5 at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
You know how it is, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chris, you'll get to meet them this summer because you guys are coming up.
Right. Yeah, we're coming up to Gettysburg Bash. Yeah.
So, I drink like diet. That's not even good. It's better to drink sugar. But I'm diabetic on top of it, so it's not.
Oh.
Yeah, I got 2 things against me. Oh, well.
So you guys live in a pretty interesting house, the 1912 Hoover House. Do you guys live there or you just own the bed and breakfast?
No, we live here.
We live here.
Okay.
24/7.
That would have been cool if that wasn't the rotisserie then.
Yeah, no.
There's always something going on here. We never really have a quiet evening ever. We have a old time, like, what do you call that?
Victrola. You guys saw it.
We were there, yeah. Yep.
It has really ramped the energy of the house up.
Has it?
Yeah.
So let's start looking at some of the evidence.
Okay.
I want to start with a picture that you guys caught in the basement. And we can, I'm going to show this during the videos. We won't be able to talk because we'll be muted, but during this, we can talk. And I want you guys to look at this.
Ooh, yeah.
Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
That is a fantastic photo. Anybody looking at this figure is not casting a shadow, and the light is behind them.
That's correct.
So I take it this was caught during the day.
No.
No, it was at night.
That light behind it is probably Pam's flash because there's a mirror.
No, there's no. I wasn't using a flash.
Okay.
The red light is from the exit sign, and that provides enough light.
Wow. But this is phenomenal. If you guys look really close, you can see an arm starting to form. Mm-hmm. You can see the head. You can see the shoulders. You can see the second arm starting to form. And if you look really close, you've got a black pant leg that is about mid-thigh on the one side. And if you look really close, the opposite side is slowly starting to form in the picture. It's hard to see because you can't zoom in on it. I zoomed in on it and really looked at it before the show.
Yeah, you can't zoom in on a StreamYard, but when we were there, they showed this picture to us, and we did zoom in on it. And what's really, really bizarre is that black conical-like shape that is underneath the apparition. It seems to stop just before the belt line as the torso goes down. That little, looks like an upside-down tornado. That's coming out of a black, misty kind of a mass that's floating along the floor, I guess, and it's coming up.
Oh,
from
wow.
that.
Mark Net at that picture too, and Mark said the same exact thing you just said.
Because it looks like
That's what it looks like.
Hey,
So
Chris.
Yeah.
If you hit the photo again so it goes away, find it on your computer and then hit share screen. Then you can zoom in because I gotta zoom in on that.
Yeah, it's crazy. We saw it when we were. They're at the bar area right now at the Lookout House, which is a beautiful part of the house. And we sat there with them and we saw that picture. and we probably couldn't talk for a few minutes. We were just like we were trying to pick our jaws up off the bar.
I can tell it's there. I just
where I
can't
am.
see that. I need to have that zoomed in on.
It's good.
There you go.
There you
go.
It's creepy.
Yeah, now you
There
can
you
zoom.
go. See it?
Wow,
Yeah.
and that black mist at the bottom is not technically touching the floor.
Well,
You know
part of it, right?
It almost looks like it's coming out of the ground like roots.
It does.
You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I never noticed that before. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a phenomenal capture. And we stood right in that same
And
area
look, and then it goes.
where
Well,
that
and
is.
here's the most phenomenal part about this photo is zooming in on it, it doesn't pixelate. That is
No.
a phenomenal picture.
Look at that. That's
But
crazy.
if you look, now you guys can you see the hand moving?
You can see fingers almost there. Yeah. Individual
Yeah.
fingers, almost like they're together like that.
So if
Yeah.
you see this part of the pant leg forming, if you look, the second leg is starting to form, and you can almost see the leg portion here.
Oh yeah, I never noticed that either.
Yeah.
It's like the black energy is coming up from the ground and filling it out like a mold.
Yeah.
And if you look at the edges of the apparition, you can see that it's starting to form like a mist.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
We can
The
tell
best
you,
part of-
we were
Go ahead,
just
Rob.
there. There's nothing in that space like a mannequin or something hanging. There's nothing there to trick you to think that there's something there. There's nothing there.
Right. And if you really want to trip out on this one, if you look really close, the side that hasn't formed yet, you can see through it and see the wall behind it. You can actually see
little
the
opaque.
brick. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
That is way freaking cool.
That is
Yeah.
one muscular
Yeah.
Right?
apparition or shadow figure.
So that is hovering about 8 feet in the air.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So your basement from the floor to the ceiling is about 9 feet, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's hovering about a foot below the support beams right there at the floor where all the piping is.
yeah.
That's about 8 feet in the air.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
His head's almost hitting the pipe, or is hitting the
Right.
pipe.
Yeah.
Right.
Looks like it may be going up through. I don't know.
That is a phenomenal catch.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And one of the most bizarre things about it is that conical shape of black energy
know,
or
it's
mass
so
coming from the
weird.
floor like roots. Because we've seen different versions of shadow figures before. I have one from the Queen Mary. I've never seen anything where it looks like you caught it manifesting, like it was forming.
Like it was
Yeah.
coming from the, and then it just,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've not seen that before.
That's
this
crazy.
Now here's the biggest question: did you guys see it with your own eyes, or you just caught it in the photo?
No,
Nope.
no.
We were
Wow.
doing EVP session, and we keep getting things talking about the black floor.
Wow.
There's that floor is painted black. It's like a matte black, but it's been painted for years and years, and it's all chipped up. And I said, I didn't connect it at first. And I was like, oh my God, that's a black floor there. So that was a speakeasy during Prohibition, the basement.
Yeah, there was a bar down there at one time. Yeah.
Oh wow! You know what I just noticed? I know what Steve's talking about now. That's glass, isn't that? And behind it.
That's several mirrors that were taken out off the walls here and just laid up against a pallet down there.
Okay, so everybody watching that doesn't know, in my personal life, I have been in windows and doors for my entire career for almost 30 years now. And what you're catching here is the flash going off on the camera when she took it, or there's a light coming in from the opposite side. And when glass or mirrored glass does a reflection of light, it magnifies the light anywhere from 10 to 25 times. And that's not an exaggeration. So you're getting a 10 to 25 time magnification of light off those mirrors sitting behind this figure. Anything that would have physically been there in front of that magnification, you can see it reflecting on the ground right here.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that would have been in front of that was a physical being would have spit it out, Chris, would have cast a shadow past this door sill
Gotcha. Okay.
because of the magnification of those mirrors.
Yeah, and for the record too, that she had said that there was no flash used, so there's probably basement lighting around the corner, right?
That's
Yeah.
what it looks like. Yeah.
Sign that's lit up.
Yeah.
That's why.
So if
Right.
if it's lighting that much on the floor back here, let me guess, that's about a 60 to 100 watt bulb.
Probably is inside of
Yeah.
it. There's actually 2 bulbs in it.
Okay, so there you go. So even if they're just 60 watt bulbs, that's 120 watts of light reflecting off this mirror image here. There's no way anything physical would have not cast a shadow on that floor.
Yeah, the exit sides are very bright so that if there was fire, you can see it through the smoke.
Right.
So that's why they're so bright.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a freaky cat.
Mhm.
That is awesome.
You know what's even crazier? We slept in that building.
A friend of ours, Kara, right? Yeah, but in the doorway, she had a picture. Yeah, right in that
It was
doorway.
to the right.
It was
of
to the right. Yeah, right there where you're at now. Her head was there, and she's got looks like a little boy standing behind her. I didn't have that photo to get it from her.
Her back would have been her right hand side her shoulder would have been, she was like this, so her shoulder would have been there. Back.
Yeah,
Steve. She was back.
yeah, but still, I'm just saying that the
In
figure
that
was
general.
behind her,
Yeah.
but it was in the same room.
Mm-mm.
So it was,
So where you caught that photo, that's the original portion of the basement, right? The portion on this side where the exit light is an addition.
all right. Pam says she running within there.
He's talking about a completely different.
Oh, okay. But in this photo, where you caught the apparition, that's the original. You can tell by the dirt walls in the background, and then you can also tell by the it's about 6 to 8 inches thick jamb on this door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this used to be an exterior wall. This is now an addition to the basement, correct?
No, I think that
No.
wall now that's part of the original building. That wood was put in later on for like a barn look when they had the bar down there. There's like a wooden door that opens up on that with a big light. I don't know if you can see it in the picture. I think it's off I think it folds off to this.
Right over here.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's a phenomenal
Right there.
chair.
So yeah,
I could talk about this one for the rest of the show, guys. This is fun.
yes, that door was actually added. There's an archway on top. You can see the archway.
Right. Yeah.
So they made a big wooden like dungeon door for that. That was probably made in the 50s, 60s. That door.
You had to have a secret knock to get through that thing.
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal catch, you guys. That's
yeah,
awesome.
bar in the first place.
What is going? Oh, share my screen. Sorry.
There's 2 bathrooms.
Why did this thing go away?
The mules, the other one's yeah.
Awesome.
That's really cool.
So we also have a couple of EVPs that you guys. So this was So I'm looking at the one that says Hoover House on Good Friday from the clip that you sent me.
Mm-hmm. That was
Where
up
was
in-
that one caught?
Both of those clips were up in the Holzer suite. Right above us is Ira Hoover and his daughter both died of cardiac thrombosis, 13 years apart in the same room.
Wow.
You know, give me a second. I forgot to share audio.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
We also Pam, we sent them in a couple of clips. I was going through some of the direct radio voice stuff we did. I wanted to get more of this one from the Hoover House when Steve was asking for the name of who was coming through. And then the other 2 were from the antique store down the road.
Perfect.
And we wanted to talk a little bit about, after this stuff, about the experience we had with the young lady and the contact she made. That was really profound for us, I know.
Okay. So this one is the Hoover House on Good Friday. I'll go ahead and play it, and then you guys can talk a little about it after. I'm going to mute you guys because it doesn't automatically mute, just so they can play. So hang tight, guys.
Is there something important that you need to tell us? An important message?
I got the word Lord.
Laid in a tomb. Laid in a tomb.
He's laid in a tomb.
That they might come. That they might come.
That they might come.
That they may not come.
Lynch.
Lynch.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
What were you
Did
guys?
it say God bless you? It says God bless you.
I didn't hear that. I heard why me.
No, at the first, the very beginning and also at the end.
Play it one more time, Chris.
Okay, hang on.
Sorry,
I'm
I just shut it all down. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're okay. Just I'm not gonna mute your mic, so.
Is there something important that you need to tell us? An important message?
Played in a tune. Played in a tune.
He's laid in the tomb.
That they might come. That they might come.
That they might come.
That they may not come.
Lynch.
Lynch. Bless you. Damn.
Wow.
That's
What were you guys using? What was it?
That was it was Phasma Box running.
Phasma box?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gotten such EVPs that were so intelligent before, especially like when it first started talking about Easter. I was like, what? Because we weren't really going in that direction, but the EVPs insisted on going in that direction.
Yeah, they were naming the angels.
It started naming archangels, and I'm like, what in the heck is happening here?
Wow.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, Phasma Box is a Windows-based communication ITC app, and we've seen people have good success with it. We have. So those who are skeptical about apps, you know, if spirit can manipulate electronics, that certainly qualifies being a device that is electronic.
And I do hear God bless you. I do hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was caught on the second floor of the house?
Yep, second floor. And
The funny thing is, we got one up at the Primrose. I was going to try to find it, but my truck broke down today and everything else. But I was trying to find it, and now you know me, Ron. I got like 30 recorders around the house, trying to find out which one it's on, and find the thing. Because I never file them. I was up in Pam was up in the Primrose room, and I came from the basement all the way up and ran up all these stairs. You know the stairs, all the way up, got up into that top room. And she goes, someone's in this room. So I started doing an EVP session, and I had on my recorder, and I'm sitting in a chair, and I asked a couple questions, got nothing. And it was funny. I hit it back on and started recording again. I said, you know, the last recording I did, I can hear my voice. And then, you know, I let a little silence and said a couple more questions. Well, when I did the playback, when I said I can hear myself, I can hear myself breathe, is what I said. Because I was out of breath. The spirit answered. And when he answered, he said, that's effed up. Exactly what he said to me, crystal clear. When I
Wow.
on this, he goes, that's effed up. Crystal clear. Came in. And you know, I don't know if you caught any guy upstairs on the third floor swearing. We got one guy that swears constantly up there. I think he was in a nursing home back in the day, and he just, that's his language, you know.
Yeah.
That's how he.
That's all.
He comes through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
So-
another thing that's happened here, I know you got other things to play.
Oh, you're good.
We had Bob Christopher here. For those who know Bob, Christopher, and Gina, they were upstairs and they stayed here, and they were with Pam in the hallway with some other people.
It's Bob, Gina, John Ruggiero, and
John
Chris.
Virginia and Chris, New Jersey, Perry. And they were all upstairs, and the elevator comes up to them. Now, I had left the elevator down in the basement because we were all started there. And then they all walked upstairs. So I just said, heck, I'll just leave it down there. And I came up here and I sat at the bar with other people. Well, they heard it come up, and then Pam, you can take it from here.
I was like, oh, here comes Steve ruining our EVP session. And sitting there
You can
waiting
hear the elevator go up.
and waiting. I'm like, so I get up off the chair and I open the door and there's nobody in there. Now that is impossible. You have to be in the elevator with the door pulled where it clicks, and you have to manipulate.
The
Yeah.
button.
You
You got there's the elevator.
Yeah, you just the
Wow.
elevator does not have the ability to go up and down unless you're in it.
Right.
Picture the elevator. So
Yeah.
the only other way it can go is if someone in the hallway calls it up. Now, did the spirit hit the button and call it up?
None of us did.
Because they didn't. So that's
Right.
there's you got Bob, Chris, Regina, John, Chris. They were all there, and Pam, and none of them moved.
Yeah.
Pam, the
Awesome.
And it has to be because even if it's ajar, the elevator will not move.
It has to pull it. You have to
Wow.
click
Yeah, you got
Mhm.
the feature.
there
That's
goes.
awesome.
Picture going up.
There it is.
All right, so I have a question.
When we were there, she was laughing at me because she kept going, "You're going to take the elevator down again, aren't you?" I went, "Yes, I
He
am.
kept taking the elevator.
Yes, I am."
Never happened to you in the elevator.
Tony had a question. What do you have, Tony?
Right then.
I'm just curious, Ron, have you had the opportunity to try DRV there?
Yes. So we did direct radio voice at the bar where they're sitting now. We did it in the basement the first night we were there. We did it down the street at an investigation at an antique and collectibles place that their friends own. I haven't gone over all of it yet. There's one of the little short clips I sent in for tonight was from the bar. And I haven't even had a chance to bounce this off Pam and Steve to see if the name that came through was somebody that they might have known. Because Steve was asking for a name. Somebody was talking. They kept saying Steve. So he asked for a name. And then there's a response in the form of initials. And then they clarified who the initials were, or at least the first letter of the two initials.
Wow. Hey, real quick, guys. Sorry to interrupt. UNX will be going over to their next audio program in about 5 minutes. But I'm telling you right now, we've got one more EVP caught at the Hoover House in the basement. We've got a digital seance. We've got a couple of DRV stuff that Ron sent us from down the street at their antique shop, the friend's antique shop down the street. So you want to stick around on YouTube, you want to stick around on Facebook Live, or if you want to go on to UNX's next program, you can, but you're going to miss some good shit. So just wanted to give you a heads up. In about 5 minutes, that's going to happen. All right, go ahead. So the next one we got, Hoover House basement. Was this caught where you caught the apparition?
That's
What is
Chuckles.
that? Chuckles?
Chucky. Yeah.
Chuckles.
He lives there. He lives there too. He's awesome.
Chuckles. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Good.
Hoover House basement. You guys catch this one by where you caught the apparition?
Huh?
The clip audio says Hoover House basement. Was that caught down by where you caught the apparition? Okay. Let's go ahead and listen to that one. I'm not going to mute you guys. It takes too long. So we'll just get going. Here we go.
Are you okay with that? Okay.
Let's say Adam.
Wow, you sure did.
Interesting.
Like Adam. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very clearly.
that was pretty cool.
Box, right? That's Phasma box.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
That one was quick. Let's listen to it again.
Are you okay with that? I am. Okay.
Wow. So that first one almost sounds like it's saying house. Is that just me, or did you guys just hear that too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
that was really cool.
Yeah, that was clear. Phasma box is impressive sometimes. We have seen it.
We've used it before.
Yeah, we've used it. We were using it for a while. Yep. We sure are.
Those are some clear responses. That's pretty cool.
There is intelligence here. It's just people don't want their stories to be forgotten. Sometimes when you're sitting here, there is, and multiple people have reported the same thing. We have 2 parlors. The parlor, when we were a nursing home, the parlor on the left was licensed for 5 residents. The parlor on the right was licensed for 5 residents. This area where we're sitting was their living room. The dining room had 5 residents. Not that they always had 5 residents, but that's what they were licensed for. Each one of the king rooms was licensed for 5. The very top, because we're about 8,000 square feet, was our bedroom had 3 residents. The Primrose had 2, and the Rosebud had 1 resident.
Wow. So you have a full house even when you're not sold out.
Exactly, right?
Pam's like, I'm making breakfast for all these people, and only half of them show up. This is bullshit.
Oh my God. The best breakfast all 3 days.
Seriously, it was so good.
It was amazing. Yeah. They could not have been kinder to us. Anybody wants to go and get the absolute best experience for a B&B and with hauntings and a little elevator that is awesome.
That's funny.
And close to Gettysburg too. So you can,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're close.
that's a great place.
Miles from Gettysburg. We're like 29 miles from Antietam. We're close to Harper's Ferry. So a lot of historians will stay here and then do like their day trips.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. They should just stay in the house.
Yeah.
Okay, Ron, we're going to the clips that you sent in. The first one is Digital Sands. You want to explain that one?
Yeah, this one was when we were at the bar. I think this might have been the first night. It was just the 4 of us, us 2, and then Pam and Steve. And at some point, after running the radio for a while, we kept hearing, right? We all kept hearing Steve.
Yeah.
Somebody kept trying to talk to Steve, and then he asked for a name, and then you'll see it in here. I heard somebody say the first name is, and then they gave initials, and then he asks again, and then they gave you what would make sense for the first initial of those 2.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, okay. There you go. Let's listen to it.
The Digital Seance Initiative.
Who are you? Tell me your name.
You sound like say your face. I miss your face. Thank you.
Tell me your name.
The Digital Seance Initiative.
Yeah.
Now, if that would have ended with Rathman, I'd have shit myself.
I didn't know if Anthony or AJ was somebody you knew.
AJ would be Ollie's. He's still alive.
He's still alive?
Yeah.
I'm almost curious if it's related to the Adam on the first EVP that we showed.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Can you play it one more time, Chris? Because there's something I want to re-listen for.
Yeah, here we go.
The Digital Seance Initiative.
Who are you? Tell me your name.
You sound like say your face. I miss your face. Thank you.
Tell me your name.
The Digital Seance Initiative.
Okay, maybe it's just what I'm hearing, but the name that it gives before it says the initial is Rupert, and I hear BJ. Not AJ.
I heard it too.
Okay.
BJ?
We will have to re-listen.
That's what I hear. And the name it gives before it says that is Rupert.
Oh man, now I want to listen to it. Let's listen to it again. Hang on.
Play it again.
Is that before it says Anthony?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or before? Okay.
The Digital Seance Initiative.
Who are you? Tell me your name.
You sound like say your face. I miss your face. Thank you.
Tell me your name.
The Digital Seance Initiative.
You're right. I heard that.
I heard
I don't know for sure, but I mean that's what I'm catching off of it. But
yeah,
you know what, Rupert?
It's three different voices. It's three different men. So
It's
the
three-
Anthony
it's
was
three
a
different
different
voices,
voice with
yes.
Rupert. Yeah. Wow, that was awesome. Everett, the phonic alphabet. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I heard the Rupert. I actually heard it more than once. I think I heard it at least
it's twice. Yeah.
I heard it twice. Yeah.
But the most intriguing part was it was three different voices.
I don't either. But you know,
Well, the most impressive part is that it's phenomenal intellectual conversation that's answering the questions that are being asked with timing and relevance. That's the amazing part.
Yeah.
You gonna play another one?
Yeah, let's play another one. So, Ron, you said these were down the street with Steve and Pam at one of their friends' antique shops?
Yeah, we set up a little direct radio thing in the back, and we had a nice little group of people sitting around. It turned out to be, for us, really meaningful. Like, after we were done, I had to walk outside, not for anything bad, but just because I almost felt a little bit of a drain. It was profound. It was emotional because it was a young girl who was, how old was she? 15?
About 15, yeah. Right?
Right?
Yeah.
And she was asking questions about her grandmother, specific things. What TV show did we watch? And her name was Haley, and it kept saying Haley. And then when she asked about the TV show, it named the show. She heard it, and she'd never even heard of the show before. So power of suggestion and hearing what you want to hear is out the window, because she never even heard of the show before, but she heard the words
Dr. Paul
come out. Yeah. And the girl was in tears, but happy tears is what she
was
told
happy.
you, right?
Yeah, she had happy tears.
Wow.
It was life-changing for her. It was like Pam said. Yeah, it was life-changing.
I'll be seeing her Wednesday. I'll tell her that you guys love.
Yeah, we wanted to know how she
hi.
was doing, but that was what you came over to us when we stepped outside after she left, and that was what you told us, and that for us was like, we looked at each other and goes, that's why we do this.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's why we do this.
So to add a little credence to that, The Incredible Dr. Paul is an American reality television show on Nat Geo Wild that features Dutch veterinarian John Paul and his family and employees at the practice in rural Weedham, Michigan. The series premiered in 2011.
Wow. That's the show.
Yeah, she heard it. She heard it, and the girl heard it, and the girl went into tears. She was talking to her grandmother as far as she was concerned, and no one was going to convince her otherwise. And that for me was more meaningful than any other reason why we've done this. Was we touched somebody's life, and hopefully,
it just backs up the credence of what we talk about every week, where you have timing, relevance. I mean, you can't get. I mean, the odds of a voice coming through and naming that exact show, which none of us, I'd never heard of that freaking show.
It was an immediate response. Immediate.
Right. An immediate response that named the show that her and her grandmother used to watch after she called her name multiple times. You can't get any more definite than that. You have a better chance of winning the Powerball than getting that.
So for the record, we're gonna have that clip on a future show. That was one of the reasons why I was reviewing the audio that these next two clips came from, because I was looking for that moment. I forgot on which file it was, so I went through those first because that moment was so meaningful. So the next two centered around, there were two rocking chairs that were for sale as part of the stuff in the store, and there was a gentleman there with his daughter, and he was really trying to get the spirits to move the rocking chair. And so in these two clips, they responded like, all right. Okay.
All right, let's listen to the first one. This is Please Move the Rocking Chair. Here we go.
If you want us to put it back, please move the rocking chair. I just heard rocking chair.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. You did the best part about that is not just the intelligent responses you were get, the attitude with it was Ron. And it was that East Coast attitude with that Pennsylvania accent. Did you hear it? That was phenomenal.
So what's up with the rocking chair?
Yeah, what's up with the rocking chair? Would you please stop? And the next one, Can't Move, Stop Asking Me. Here we go.
It just said, I can't move, stop asking me.
That was great.
That was awesome.
There. Yeah.
So that picture was not from the place. The first one was the setup from the place. I just wanted to use a different picture. I threw those together really quick. But yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it saying, I can't move it, stop asking me.
Wow.
So Pam and Steve, this was a friend of yours antique shop. Where's that at?
So we do investigations periodically out of that antique shop. It started to just help the store, after COVID, everybody was really slow. So we just went down there, and then so the money, helps the antique store. It's right down the street. It's called Jess and James's House of Goods.
Awesome.
It's in Waynesboro.
Yep.
Waynesboro, Pennsylvania?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm sure.
In the fall, we'll be going.
There's a
down.
lot of places here in Waynesboro that are haunted that we're finding out from shop owners. We're going to eventually get into.
Yeah.
We're breaking the slate right now, so we gotta. We're opening a second store over here. July should be opening. So as we get to know the owners and
That's
everything.
fantastic. And for people watching, that's a great way to help the community like Waynesboro is to get, not only do you get people into those shops to help them buy the merchandise that these owners have for sale and they're trying to make a living off of, but they also, you get the people in there looking for the activity, with the paranormal involved too. That also helps them, draws the crowd in. You get the paranormal activity, you get to have an experience, you get to record something. At the same time, help those shop owners out. They need it, especially in small towns. I mean, they need it. True Americana right there. Let's get in those shops and help those guys out.
Yes, true.
All right, Pam and Steve, this is the time we allow shameless plugs. And you guys have all the time that you guys want to plug anything you want.
All right, so Gettysburg Ghost Exchange. Like Steve said, we'll be opening up our new store here in Waynesboro. It's at a historic location that's the old house. So it's down at the other end. We'll be putting all that stuff up. We are the largest paranormal equipment store, brick and mortar store on the East Coast. We sell everything from red pods to static to night vision, voice recorders. We sell a whole gamut of things. Then the historic 1912 Hoover House. We are a bed and breakfast. Oh, okay. Well, you can tell them. We're a bed and breakfast. People investigate and stay with us. And then Steve?
We're going to be doing ghost tours and history tours here in Waynesboro. So
Nice.
Nice.
They were here years ago. probably say 15 years ago, 20 years ago. The guy that ran them got a little old. He just decided not to do them no more. When we moved into the Hoover house here, he came over and said, "Hey, I heard you guys are in the paranormal." He had this big box with him. He says, "This is my ghost tour. I want you guys to have it as a gift. And if you guys feel like doing ghost tours, all the information you need is right here."
Oh, that's very nice.
Wow.
Point do we get the ghost tours, but we know which buildings are actually haunted in Waynesboro.
Yeah.
So we know who to go to now because it's all listed inside this.
So Waynesboro was used, it was held for 15 days under the stars and bars in the history books. That's what it says.
Wow.
So when the Confederate Army was evacuating Gettysburg, some went across Sachs Bridge, some came in the direction of Fairfield and Cashtown. Some came in Cashtown, so they were familiar with the roads. They went back that way. Some went past the David Stewart Farm, which is the largest Confederate field hospital. Some of them came up into Gettysburg, generally actually watered his horse in our square, and held Waynesboro for 15 days.
Wow.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That is way cool.
Yes,
That
very
is way
cool.
cool.
Yes.
All right. I want to take the time to thank everybody that stopped in to watch tonight. Katie, you're here every week. You need to give Steve hell because he's not here every week unless he's watching.
He showed
There's
up.
another Steve, isn't it?
He showed up.
We should bring
He was here tonight.
Yeah,
He
he
showed
was
up.
here. He said
We got
hi.
Jed Volkman's always with us. Breyer from Australia. Thanks for stopping in, bud. We really appreciate that. Everett with Piedmont. Let's see. Who else do we got? Carrie stopped by. Hi, Carrie. Amy Edwards is here every week with us. Kathy Casanova always stops in. Anthony Simonelli, how you doing? All right. Courtney Peterson is with us. Steve White looks like he stopped in for the first time. He thanked Courtney Peterson for sharing. Thanks, Courtney, for sharing our show with us. Rebecca Jackson with Piedmont Paranormal. She'll be with us on the maybe on the USS North Carolina, maybe not. Sorry, Rebecca. Facebook user shows up every week.
Hey, whoever that is.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, one big
Thank you, Facebook
one big
user.
shout out for the shameless plug should absolutely be the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, which is what, August 19, 20?
19th through the 21st.
19th to the 21st.
We
And
have
please
six
tell them what it's for. Tell them what you do.
Yeah.
Now go ahead. You're good at that.
So Gettysburg Battlefield Bash is August 19th through 21st. We raise money to help Pennsylvania Wounded Warriors. We keep our dollars in the state of Pennsylvania. And Heroes for Hire, which is Batman. He has a $150,000 Batmobile, and he takes the kids on their victory laps who have beat cancer. Last year, we raised $10,000. It was split down the middle. Everybody was very much in need.
Actually, we raised 12 because he gave 2 to Blackout. This truck here.
So especially, from COVID, everybody's donations were down. So it came in just the right time. I can tell you that all of our people that come, our special guests, none of them are paid. They come because they believe in the cause. So, I don't want to leave anyone out. So look on our banner. Everyone comes. They're supporting. We have lectures. We have Ron and Lourdes will be doing a lecture for us. But everybody just comes out of the goodness of their hearts. And that's what we've come.
And we appreciate that
That's
because
what we've come
without the people coming,
Yep.
The soldiers wouldn't get nothing.
Yeah.
The kids wouldn't get the help they need. And
So we've got 6 bands this year. We've got a 1980s party theme night on Friday. We have Saturday Bash at the Bash. It's $20 to get in. You get a wristband. It's for the entire weekend.
yeah, it's not $20 a day. It's $20 for the whole weekend.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you lose the car show. You get to go on a car show and
We've got
everything.
vendors inside. Everything from gems to
Dunk tank.
Mary Kay to
Wow.
all kind of stuff.
Yeah, Chris and his wife Audra are coming up this year for the first time. They're gonna meet us there, and we've been telling them about it. And so I did not want this show to end without that getting a plug because you guys do a fantastic job with
Thank
doing
you.
it, and the money you raise, the way you do it, and for the reason you do it, it'd be a crime to not mention that. That's a huge thing.
That would be a crime because I did not know when we booked our hotel that it was for the Wounded Warrior.
Yeah.
By Sunday night, I don't think my legs want to move anymore. It takes to recover after
I'm
that.
sorry, what were you saying, Chris, about Wounded Warriors? I'm sorry.
I did not know it was for Wounded Warrior, which is near and dear to my heart. I'm former military, former law enforcement. That's huge for me. So do me a favor, private message me. Audra and I will be there the night of the 19th, the 20th. We're not leaving until Sunday midday.
Perfect.
If there's anything that we can do to help out, I would love to connect with you and see what we can do. That's fantastic.
All the volunteers we can get,
Okay.
That's awesome. That's
That is
awesome.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
We're looking for volunteers to help with that, to line the cars, do the registration table for the cars when they come in, collect the funds, you know. I'm expecting a big turnout of cars coming out.
Okay. I will definitely reach out to you before and see what we can do to help while we're there. Definitely. That's phenomenal.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it had to be brought up, and definitely anybody's go look up the 1912 Hoover House
and the Ghost Exchange.
Yes, but we can't wait to go back and stay there again. It is beyond worth the trip for wherever you're coming from.
Yep. Thank you. So before we end for the night, guys, 1912 Hoover's house. You got the Ghost Exchange, Gettysburg Bash. Goes to kids with cancer, goes to Wounded Warrior. You can't find a better reason to spend your money and go to the Gettysburg Bash. I expect to see all of our viewers there. That's within travel distance.
We have
all right, guys.
Waynesboro, the new building.
Yep.
Waynesboro, definitely. Get to these smaller towns. Support America at its best. We need it right now more than anything else. So before we sign off, guys, if you want to have the best waffles in Pennsylvania and catch an EVP at the same time, you have to go to the Hoover house. You have to stay with Pam and Steve, and you have to stay haunted. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Can you give me a name? What's your name?